Hi, my name is Flavio, and I'm very happy to be here at TEDx America's Finest City and be able to be part of this event that really is spreading ideas that I think are worth spreading. Well, the idea that I want to share with you is co-innovation Calibaja style. And first, I'll talk about what Calibaja style means, or what it means to me, and then why co-innovation within this context is something that it's worth talking about and something that is worth exploring. So talking about Calibaja, it's really a geographic location. So when we talk about Calibaja, we're talking California and Baja California. And it's the border region where these two meet. And it encompasses the county of San Diego, the county of Imperial, and also 5 municipalities from the Baja California state: Tijuana, Tecate, Ensenada, Rosarito, and Mexicali. So all of us together, we're the largest urban concentration in all of the US-Mexico border. It makes us the capital of the 6th largest economy of all the world. When you combine the GDP of the 10 border states along the US-Mexico border, we become the capital of this very large economy. We have 6 million people in this region, and we have capabilities that are very competitive worldwide. We have the largest concentration of the medical device and biomedical cluster in all of the world, with over 100,000 employees. So these are the unique capabilities that really distinguish this region worldwide. And it's a microcosm of what globalization is. It's a laboratory of the true potential of NAFTA. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of my perspective of Calibaja. My perspective is from Tijuana looking north. I was born in Tijuana, that is just a few minutes south of San Diego. It's only a 15-minute ride from here to the border. And all my life, from the very beginning, I had the opportunity to be able to cross the border and enjoy San Diego in many ways, for recreation, shopping, health, education, all kinds of activities. And I started to really learn about the customs, really learn about the culture, and be able to realize that I could have the best of both worlds if I wanted to. When you have this positive view of the region and you try to leverage our complementary capabilities, our complementary culture, our complementary economy. And I realized this since I was very young. Like, one of the things that I enjoyed the most in San Diego was coming to Coronado, to the beach. I think a lot of teenagers do that, especially when they discover bikinis and how that looks. So I really enjoyed coming to San Diego and visiting different areas. But just more than just visiting once in a while, the culture is so integrated in our region that a lot of my generation, we grew up watching the American TV, because we didn't have really a TV channel in Tijuana that had, the national programming, the novelas and that kind of stuff. We didn't get those until more recently. So we watched the 3 major networks. For me, I would consider that this guy was my English teacher. That's how I learned how to speak English. I also listened to the radio stations from San Diego. KGB-FM, it's my favorite, has been for many years. So I grew up with all of the progressive rock sounds. And a lot of activities, things that are across the border, create this biculturalism and this idea of leveraging each other and finding the best in both worlds. But I'm not the only one. There's tens of thousands of people that have this bicultural and binational upbringing and atmosphere. Just our border crossing is the busiest border crossing in the world. 60 million people cross the border every year. That's like you take all of California's population, go to Baja California, and come back the same year. So that's a huge dynamic. Even in business, we see that. About 1.6 million trucks of goods cross the border, goods that are worth about $30 billion. So that's almost an economy in itself. But other things come out of this dynamic synergy between the two regions. Even music, art, culture. Carlos Santana was born in Jalisco, just in the southern part of Mexico, and came to live to Tijuana when he was a teenager. That's where he learned how to play the guitar. Of course, he had all the influences of the binational border. We see that also in food. In the 1920s, an Italian immigrant called Cesar Cardini came to California and then moved to Tijuana and opened up a restaurant called Caesar's. And that's where the Caesar salad was born. Even Barbie is a product of this region. There have many multinational companies from around the world have leveraged this capability, this synergy in the region. So Barbie's been around in the Calibaja region for a while, and so have 800 other businesses, multinational companies from all over the world that are leveraging this capability. We have companies from New Zealand, we have companies from Iceland, from Japan, Korea, England, and of course, the United States. Now, all of them have been working under this value chain model, which is a very traditional model when you look at the life cycle of a product or of any manufactured good. You know, from R&D, engineering, design, manufacturing, distribution, warehousing, sales, marketing, customer service. So all of these steps add value to a product. But when you measure that value, at the beginning and at the end of the process, you have the highest value. In manufacturing and assembly and warehousing, you have the lowest value. It's very mechanical. So that traditionally has been, geared to lower cost areas because you are not adding as much value. And this has been the model for many, many years, since the 70s, in a lot of the manufacturing in this region. But it's actually been evolving. So of those 800 companies that are in Baja California, and all of their support from engineering and distribution and sales on the US side, complementing each other, there's thousands and thousands of people that have benefited from this model. But it's evolving. Now we have sectors like aerospace and medical devices. There's companies that are doing the stents, for the arteries and things like that are being done in the region. So the value added has been increasing, and there's a new model that is emerging. It's a value network. And it's not a sequential, it's more interactive. So that's when engineers from one side collaborate with engineers in the other, and in the manufacturing and distribution and design, and all of the different components really combine to create more value. And this is the opportunity for the Calibaja Mega-Region. That's how we come to the point of co-innovation, Calibaja style. Because we can share our ideas from both sides of the border. We can share the intellectual capital that we can put into different products and services. So this evolution of the industry and the interaction between the different areas of Calibaja has created an ecosystem that really provides a platform for higher innovation, more competitiveness, more creativity, and be able to compete worldwide. Today, we have here the group of the Maker Mini Fair. So there's a maker movement. These makers can really benefit from this platform. They can really use and leverage the capabilities that we have across the border. Companies like DJO Global that are located here in San Diego, they're in northern San Diego, their group of engineers from San Diego and the group of engineers in Tijuana collaborated in co-innovation. They created the world's lightest knee brace. So they are providing really cutting-edge technology using nanomaterials, and it's all this co-innovation system. Companies like Plantronics that have been around in the region for over 40 years. This year, they were awarded one of the most innovative products of the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. There's an entrepreneurial example, and they're part of the maker movement. 3D robotics. This is a young Mexican engineer, a tinkerer, a maker, that got together with a very visionary businessman from San Francisco and former editor of Wired magazine, Chris Anderson, and they jointly created this company, 3D Robotics, that is doing drones. There's unmanned aerial vehicles for a lot of recreational, educational, exploratory purposes. And they're in the region. They have operations at both sides. They have a facility in Tijuana with 40 employees. So these are some of the examples. But even in medicine, we see examples. Dr. Chayet collaborated some years back with some physicians on this side, and they created the intraLASIK procedure and the equipment that goes with it, to cure the eyesight problems of a lot of people. And we see this type of innovation going to other areas like software development, wireless health. We see in 3D animation. Actually, next year, there's going to be a major animated film called El Americano. It's going to come out in mid of next year. And all of the 3D animation was done in a small company in Tijuana. So, in conclusion, what we're offering now, what we have now, is a platform for co-innovation when we leverage our capabilities and we leverage our economies in the Calibaja Mega-Region. So I encourage all of the thinkers, entrepreneurs, and makers to take advantage of this platform. Thank you very much.